Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Welcome to the DJ the Money Coach Financial Expert Series brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. Thank you for joining us for another phenomenal interview with another phenomenal guest. I'm Nick Westbrooks, your moderator. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. 7 Spheres of Money, DJ the Money Coach. And he brought another friend along with him to feature on today's episode. So what's going on, DJ? How you doing?
Hey, man, today is great, man. It's TGIF. And it couldn't be a better interview to do for TGIF because this is all about fun and entertainment, baby. So I'm excited. And any day above ground, man, is a great day in America. And more excited about bringing Black excellence to the platform. So again, man, this is the Financial Expert series with DJ the Money Coach. And yeah, I think, man, y'all might start blaming me of nepotism because I'm having all these friends come on. But the reality is that we became friends through mutually having a common accord about business, and the friendship developed from there because we share same principles. So if you don't like people, it's very hard to have a long-term relationship with them in anything, yet alone business. So, but the reality is we have conquered all of that in one swoop of the sword. So I'm excited about that. So, hey man, so everybody out there, we want you to have a blessed day and we want to kick this off and enjoy it. And when I'm talking about having fun entertainment, we actually gonna bring you the fun side of the expert series because in everything money, man, there's always entertainment and relaxation. And this person epitomizes that and has been a blessing to our organization for about 4.5 years. And actually, epitomizes why we wear this cap because when he met me on the baseball field. So we've had a lot of people recently were like, man, why are you guys wearing these caps all the time? And I'm like, well, reality is that some people actually know me as a baseball coach. And this person right here knows me as a baseball coach and doesn't really know, a lot about me as a business person, but hopefully, I did a great job as a baseball coach. So anyway, this person here is amazing. And if you don't know my story real quick, I'm like you guys, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, came out of college, got that piece of paper and thought it was going to change my life. And you know what? It really changed my life in a negative standpoint, meaning that it gave me, $60,000 worth of debt. Yeah, that's right. So, and here's the funny thing about it. I went to school to become a CPA. I did not become a CPA. I minored in accounting and I thought I would know about money, but you know what? I was taught in accounting how to manage other businesses' money, not how to manage my own personal finances. And what I come to find out in America, that's generally the case for anybody to get some type of degree, unless they go specifically on personal finances, they have no clue about how it actually works. And the funny thing is, I was really good at accounting for other people, but I had no idea about the concept inside my own house. And what does that mean? That means that 40,000 of that 60 was consumable debt. That's right. I amassed credit card debt in college, getting ramen noodles, Domino's, pizza, all that stuff. And I signed my name on it and looked up and I didn't even realize I had that much debt until I got out of school, went to go get my first loan for a home and I got rejected. And once I got rejected, of course I was disappointed, but I was like, hey man, no big deal. I'll keep it moving. And I really didn't grasp, what I had accomplished in a negative standpoint until it really hit me couple of years later when I went to apply for a business loan, small business loan, because I got into the entrepreneur track real fast. And this time it made an impact because I was trying to create a legacy for my family. Unlike working for somebody, I was realized that I was going to, everything I put my hands and my mind to was going to be 100% mine in the Duransburg household. And immediately I got rejected for a small business loan. So at that point, just like anybody like you and I was devastated, to be honest with you. But then I had 2 pathways to choose. 1, victim, or 2, victor. And 9 out of 10 times, just as small business people, you choose the victim and most people, close their doors. And the reality is like 85% of small business first 5 years, they fold for all kind of reasons. But I decided to take the victor, role. And I read a book. It was called The Road to Wealth. And I only read one chapter at that time. And it was a chapter about credit pertaining to personal finances. I studied it. I took it in. And 12 months later, I applied 2 dirty little words, discipline and work, and put my head to the grind. And I put my credit score up from 525. That's right, 525 to 720. 24 months from that day of reading that book and applying that stuff, I achieved an 800 credit score. Now, I did not cop out in bankruptcy. I paid all my debt off. 6 years later, 2002, I had a clear slate. I cut the final check and paid off all $60,000 worth of that debt. 40,000, ladies and gentlemen, that was consumable debt that gave me no assets. But that's not what I'm excited about. What I'm excited about is 6 years later, 2008, I stepped into the land of freedom, where I became financially independent in America, where I had a 6-figure income, I had a 7-figure net worth, and I built businesses, I invested in real estate, dividend stocks, and life became great for me and my family. But that's not what I'm excited about. Well, what are you excited about, DJ? Well, I'm excited that I went back into the community like this gentleman here, and I started helping people that needed my help to actually not have the same pitfalls. And why is this important? Because probably like you, I came from a single parent home for a little while in my life, and my mom was a victim of identity theft, predatory lending. So we had everything stacked up against us. There was no way we should have been successful. But when I realized what the solution was and I saw what the matrix was, I took the red pill and I went in and I became Neo and I battled Mr. Smith and I won. And then I took it back to the community and we helped the YMCA, we helped the churches, we helped the Federal Reserve, the state of Illinois Attorney General's office, state of Michigan's senator's office. I went across the country and did all these tours. And fast forward today, 20 years later, I helped 20,000 people get on the pathway to financial independence. We've helped thousands become consumer debt free and hundreds become financially independent. And how we do that is by linking up with these guys I'm about to introduce you to today. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it and I got the receipts. So let me tell you about this guy here. This guy is amazing. This guy's a graduate, University of Houston, downtown Cougs. They made it to the Final Four for the first time ever since Fly Summer Jammer. So we're all excited about that, even though I'm a blue guy, but I was wearing red at that point. So this gentleman here, he started out in the theater. He's got a great family. And then he got, lured and they snatched great talent into the entertainment business. What part? Most of the ones, all you guys, participated. This small little corporation called Main Event. So if you don't have Main Event in your town, which I'll be surprised you don't, it's 10 times better than that one that has 2 first names associated with it. And how do I know? Because I went to that one before and it was an okay experience. But then when I went over to Main Event, man, it was like they treated me with the platinum rule. And you know what the platinum rule is? It's treat me how I want to be treated, not the golden rule, treat you the way you want me to be treated. And this guy, I was doing baseball and I had this community that I've been coaching for a long time with my sons in Little League and Junior League. And I said, man, we need a sponsor. And we need to get some extra stuff that make these kids feel good, and we need to take them out and show them. So I just walked into the Main Event, and I said, let me talk to the manager. And this awesome guy, he walks out, hey man, how can I help you out today? Blah, blah, blah. I said, hey man, we don't have a lot of money, but I got all these kids, and they've been busting their butt, and they doing great. Can you give us some type of discount or give us a coupon so I can come in and do a celebratory party for these guys? And before I could get the words out of my mouth, Nick, this guy was like, hey, man, no problem. Let me give you blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, man. I was like, oh, crap. I'm like, man, I thought I'd won the lottery. And I was like, before he changed his mind, I grabbed everything up, Nick, and I ran to my kids and I gave it to them. Because, they said 9/10 of law is ownership. So I said, I think this guy made a mistake, but once my kids get them hands on it, ain't no giving back. So that was about 4 years ago. And I told him what I was, going to do. I said, look, we got a little small organization, and I'm going to build it, and I'm going to build it, and I'm going to bring you more and more business every time you see me. And here's the funny thing, Nick. As an entrepreneur, we tell people that all the time, but 9 out of 10 times, most people don't believe you because they think they heard that story before. But this guy had discernment. He looked in my eyes, and he looked in my heart, and he saw them kids. He said, you know what? Even if this guy don't succeed, I'm going to help him out. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to a gentleman that started out as a business sponsor of ours, but has developed into a great friendship. And we actually share a similar, accord about a lot of things. So my humble and awesome guest, his name is Joseph Sterling. He is the sales manager for the best producing revenue main event in the Houston market. And I'll tell you, if you go there and you don't have a great time, I will refund your money. That's how great this guy is. And that's how amazing main event has been for us. And they've sponsored a lot of events for us over the past 4 years. So Joseph, how you doing today, my friend?
Thank you.
Platform.
I appreciate it. It's funny to me that that was your perspective when we met, because for me, because we get a lot of people coming in here looking for stuff. You came in and you had this passion that I could see immediately. I was like, no, I want to do business with this guy. Like, I knew I had to make something work the moment I met you. So it's funny you mentioned it that way, because I knew immediately. It was like, yeah, this guy's for real. I knew this guy was for real. I knew I had to do business with him. I was like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, as soon as you were telling me everything you had, I'm like, I'm gonna make this work. And it's 4 years later, here we are. We're still working together. So
man, hey man, I'm glad you said that, man, because I was like, oh man, I ain't got no other option. I'd have been knocking on a lot of doors, man.
No, like, I could see the hunger in your eyes. I could see you were trying to get it done for the kids, and for me, and like, that's huge for me, especially as somebody, like, I book events, I do things like this, and you can see the people who don't care and the people who just like, yeah, it's just whatever. I could see the passion. I could see you wanted to make it happen. I could see what you were looking to do, and I knew you were going to keep doing it. You're still doing it 4 years later. So like, I took a risk, and I'm very thankful I took that risk with you.
Oh man, thank you very much, man. And our little leagues, thank you, man. And my mom thanks you. And I mean, man, my mom came down, guys, just the other day. She had got her 2 vaccinations from Chicago, and she typically comes in on her birthday, but because of the vaccinations and everything, she had to come later, and it kind of offset our calendar. And then immediately, Joseph went right back into the platinum room, man. I'm telling you, this guy is a unappreciated asset in what he does. He should be running all the main events. And I know he's had opportunities like that, but I remember we were talking about this, Joseph, and I was like, hey man, what you take? He was like, man, I don't want the headache. I want to live, my life and have control. And I appreciate that, because that control brought you a certain level of freedom that even though if you went up that ladder, you might have made X more money, but it wouldn't have given you that freedom that you wanted, man. I can appreciate that big time. Yeah. So I take my hats off to you on that.
Thank you. It's so like, I've been at Main Event now for 5 years. And like you said, before that I worked theater. So I worked theater for about 15 years before I came to Main Event. And really what I like about where I'm at Main Event is I like who I come to work with every day. Like, I like my boss, I like my customers, I like my staff. I feel like being here at this particular spot, I really get to do a lot of things that I couldn't do in a different location, a different spot. I have the freedom. I have a freedom to get people, because like, really, like, what am I selling? I'm selling you a good time. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm going to use my powers to sell people stuff, I'm going to use them to sell you something you will enjoy. I'm not going to sell something where it's like, man, I got ripped off. Like, no, I'm selling you a good time. So when you come to me and you come to Main Event, you're going to come here and you're going to have a good time. That's ultimately what I want. And you saying that makes me feel so fulfilled inside, because you came to me to have a good time with your family, and that's exactly what I delivered to you. And that's really what I'm looking to do. And that's really what like fulfills me professionally, is people coming in here and having a good time. And ultimately, that's why I like selling a good time. And that's really what we're about at Main Event. And what we're about, like, we don't even refer to our guests as customers, just to let you know what our mindset is. We only refer to people who come into our store as guests, because that's ultimately what you are. We've opened for you to come in, you are our guest. And so when you come here, you shouldn't feel like you're here and you're just a customer to us. That's not how we think about it. You're our guest. We like the things this company does that really makes me feel good about working for it. We look at every Facebook comment. Like, if you post a Facebook comment and say Main Event, trust me, we see it. We know. And we're going to reach out to you. Somebody's going to reach out to you that next day. We do the little things to make sure you come here, you're going to have a good time. And if you didn't, we're going to make sure you have a good time the next time you're here. It's the little things we do in this company that I really appreciate working for. And it's been a very rewarding experience. And for me, I'm very happy that I'm able to reach people like you in the community who are able to bring kids and bring people in here to have a really good time.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
This is DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for celebrating our 1-year anniversary with us. Thank you for the emails, the videos, and the phone calls. Most importantly, congratulations for the hundreds of people who actually acquired the course. Now it's time to take it to the next level. That's right, Millionaire Money Made. I'm actually going to teach you live how to earn that 800 credit score through the Family Finance 101 course. I'm going to teach the live 3-hour course to you. That's right. After I do that, we're actually going to bring you 3 steps to success: business, real estate, and leverage the tax laws. And once we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a little bit of investment in the market up to an 80% return, cash on cash return on your money. After we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a minimum investment of $7,500, how to get you to $850 a month in passive income. On top of that, we're going to give you 2 live Zoom trainings with Leonard Ray, 7-figure Forex trainer since 2007, Clarence and Tanya, 7-figure income earners through real estate, over 200 properties they own, and retired at the young age of 40 and 42. All you have to do is register now. Hit that link below and you'll become part of the Millionaire Money Making May exclusively with Erica Williams and the Classy Climb, brought to you by DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money team. So don't you deserve to be a millionaire next door? Consumer debt free, cash and credit? Absolutely. Hit the link. I'll see you live on May 19th.
Man, it's a couple of great things you said there, Joseph. That number one, guests.
Yeah.
And we always put on our best behavior when we have guests over at the house. So I look at it as that's your house, and every time we come in, man, we leave out better experience and we feel better about whatever our situation is before we enter your house. And that's always, and you can't put a price on that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I see, man? I see that down to the entry-level employee at Main Event in your house, because, man, it's almost like they know exactly how to treat us, and they got that directive from you. And I remember the first time, so, you'll have people you'll do relationships with, and then the entry-level people, they forget who you are. And not that you're supposed to be important, but the fact that they pay detailed attention to, that's so-and-so, and they like to be addressed this way, and this is their people, and this is how they want. And I remember, man, when you put us in the big exclusive room, and we didn't have enough people to fill it up. And I felt bad about that. I was like, man, I'm gonna make sure next time we fill this bad boy up, so we can make that money on the food, the drinks, and everything. And it was like, hey, man, the next time we put this thing, we filled it up, where we even used up both rooms. And I was like overjoyed, because I wanted to make sure you were getting your return on your investment with our organization, because the way you were servicing us. So from a leadership perspective, how do you instill that in the entry-level employee that roll right back to you, because they know, their income is a different level than your income, but at the same time, to have that fire in them, and they're on the front line, how do you instill and inspire that into them? Because I think you do a great job at that, man.
It's one, you have to be approachable. And so we have a huge management team. So each manager here manages their own department. So I'm over the sales team. And so my team touches every department. So if you're going to book an event, or you're going to call Main Event, you're going to talk to me, or you're going to talk to one of my direct employees. After that, we get to the people on the floor. So we have somebody who's over the team who runs the bowling, somebody who's over the team who runs the games department, somebody who runs the service department. And so each team has a leader that they feel that they can look up to, and to give them that real breakdown of what they need to do out there on the floor. And I think that little touch, instead of, because when you mentioned I don't want to move up, it's like, I know that I don't want to move up. It's just, I feel like I'm going to lose that touch.
Right. That's probably the wrong way for me.
I know, I'm just giving you. But on the ground floor, we each manager really owns their spot here. And so when we come together, like we have a manager meeting every Wednesday, we'll really hash it out. Like, what do we need to do, us as managers, to improve? And we have open and honest conversations with ourselves. And then we take that to our teams. And then we let our teams know what they need to do. And so I really I really feel like the way our center operates right now, it really feels like a family. Like we actually took some staff out earlier this week. We took them out to a movie. We made them dinner. We took them out to a movie, and we took them to an escape room just to say like, hey, spring break was tough. We really appreciate what you guys did because this was actually our busiest spring break we've ever had in the history of the center.
Wow.
And we did insane numbers that we've never put up ever. And so for us, it's like a lot of these kids didn't work for us before COVID. So they don't know what the business was like before. So this was a huge rush on them. Like this is
wow.
like we're asking a lot of these kids. A lot of people think like this is just some job kids can come in and do easy. Like, no, we're asking a lot of these kids. We're asking these kids to deal with like $1,000 video games. We're asking for these kids to deal with heavy bowling equipment. Like we're asking these kids to deal with quite a bit. So we empower them, like letting them know what they're responsible for, what we're ultimately responsible for. And we let them take ownership. And then we try to show them that we appreciate them because I can't do my job without them. And I want to make that clear to them at all times. And when you let the kids know that, and I call them kids, but they're not kids.
Right, we get it.
It's my job is to let them know what they mean to us. And that's what we do a good job as a management team. And you'll find that in every main event where you get these leaders in their departments, and then you have the head, who's our general manager, who's Matt. He's a very impressive guy. That it all comes down from that. And so we just try to make sure they know that they're appreciated, that we respect what they do, and that they can take ownership. Because I think once a lot of kids who come here, this is their first job. Mm-hmm. And there's a staff member now, her name is Karen. This is the only place she's ever worked. She's been here for since the day we opened. So she's been with Main Event for 9 years.
Wow.
Crazy that is for somebody to only work one place, and she's been
especially in today's world.
And that says a lot about what we are. Karen started as a party host, then she was a server, then she was a bartender, and now she works for me on the sales team. And she's actually in our Rising Stars program. So she's next in line to do my job when that job opens up somewhere else. So like there's real opportunity here, and a lot of kids see it. I have another manager who worked for me. Her name is Chasmine. She worked her way, same thing. She was a party host. She was a party supervisor. Now she's a shift supervisor, and she'll be a manager next. There's definitely, like they see the patterns. They see what people are able to do here. We have 2 managers here who are all homegrown. These are kids who started here in high school, and now they're operations managers here. They'll be general managers someday in the future. It's really, we really make it clear there's a path for them here. And on top of that, even if Main Event isn't your ultimate end all be all, I've had people on my team go on to be managers for other things. Like one of my old leads, Aquina, she now manages weddings. Like it's just, if you come here and you work for us, we're gonna get you ready to either be where we are here or somewhere else. And I think our staff really appreciates that.
Oh man, that's awesome. Because think about what you said, because man, we've probably been in there at least 12, 15 times. Mm-hmm. And especially a lot of times when we're doing a night event, you're not there. And again, you turn over to Jazz and you turn over to Karen, and man, it's like we haven't even missed a step with you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, yeah, they got everything, know exactly what we want, what we need to, navigate these kids, these parents. I mean, we've done a lot of championship events with you guys over the last 4 years. So man, I get that. That's amazing. So tell me this, man. I mean, because this is a platform where we, like to put the spotlight on people that look like us. And we like to debunk and demystify the negative narrative that is portrayed on the medium, that they're showing a minute portion of our culture that is 100% depicted as negative, and especially in the entertainment world. Mm-hmm. So with that said, our norm is excellent. What you're doing is amazing. At the same time, what I'm doing is amazing for the community, but it ain't special because we are already built like that. So with that said, talk to us about, what pathway and where were you when you first came out of high school, and was entertainment the first, thing that you were thinking about to go in the theater? Was that your passion, or is that something you stumbled upon? And is that a pathway that, any, Black man or Black woman could, pursue?
So after high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to college and I thought I was I kind of wanted to be a writer, but I didn't know what kind of writer. And so when I went to school, I actually decided to major in technical writing, which writing manuals and like really textbooks and things like that. And the only reason I picked that is because I heard it paid good. That was literally the only reason. I had no passion for it. I had no desire for it. It paid good. And so when I was in college, my dad got cancer. I was 19. I was 19 when my dad he got really sick really quickly. Like we found out he had cancer in April and he passed in May.
Oh, wow.
And it was rough. It was rough on my whole family. And so it really set me back mentally for a little bit. And so during that time, a friend of mine actually just got a job at the Alley Theater, working in the box office. And at that time I was in school and I was working at a Smoothie King, and I was actually managing the Smoothie King. Like I had worked my way up. I was already managing. I was working the morning shift, and I was just kind of tired of it. I wanted something different. I wanted something that felt like, really, I just wanted something that sounded cooler to ladies. At the Alley Theater.
We can relate.
You know what I mean? Can't pull a lot with the Smoothie King uniform. You know what I mean?
No, bro, you can't pull no honeys with the Smoothie King. I don't care if you own it, it's gonna be a little problem. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, yeah, get me at the theater. I can get free tickets. I can bring, I'm like,
right.
I'm with it. So,
resourceful, industrious.
That's right. So I got a job in the box office. She hired me, and I was killing it on the phones. Like I was immediately good at the phones. Like, because it was just answering phones, I was immediately good at it. I already, like day 2, I was calling myself the greatest box officer of all time. I was all in my bag.
You always get along.
Oh yeah. So I worked with the guy, and this was my mentor. This is probably the most important man in my life after my father passed. His name's Damon Price. And me and Damon was 10 years older than me. Damon had graduated, he was from Dallas. He graduated from U of H with a master's in theater. So he wanted to be an actor, but he was working in the box office. And you work in theater, you find a lot of people working in theater want to be actors, and they think the way to get on stage is to work in the theater, and that's not how it works. Not if you're gonna work in the office. So Damon was working in the box office with me, and me and him, like, we striked up a really good friendship. And one day the group sales manager position opened up there, and Damon applied. He was way overqualified for it, and of course he got it. And so I immediately started working him. I'm like, Damon, you need an assistant, right? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, you need a group sales assistant, man. I worked on it for like 6 months, and then they created the position for me.
Okay.
So
you hear that, Nick? He's finding 4 Ps, baby.
Yeah. So I worked on him. I got the job. And so I worked for Damon for 4 years. I was the group sales coordinator was my official title. But I was the assistant group sales manager. And so me and him were the entire group sales department for Main Event. And so we're bringing in $1 million theater ticket sales, just him. We're handling all the field trips for the schools. We're handling anything that's over 10 or more people. We're building the website. It's just me and him. And it was good. And I was enjoying it. I was set. I was making a decent amount of money for somebody in their mid-20s. You know what I mean?
Right.
One day, Broadway Across America, which does like touring Broadway shows, they left Damon a voicemail saying, hey, we have an open group sales manager position. Would you be interested in? And since I was Damon's assistant, I took all of his messages. So I applied for that job.
Hey, Nick, don't you do that.
I had his blessing. And he wrote me a great letter of recommendation. But I wouldn't have been able to get that job, or I wouldn't have been able to do that job if he hadn't prepared me for it. And really take a lot of what he taught me and how he taught me to my staff. But I will always say I wouldn't be where I am without Damon Price. And so before I was 30, I was the group sales manager for Broadway Across America for the Houston and Austin markets. Wow. And I was very proud of that. I was very proud of that. That was
absolutely, man. That's a major accomplishment.
Yeah, and I worked there for 4.5 years. And the Houston market, when I took it over, Austin was very low, like within the company. Austin a lot of people think Austin's going to be this kind of city where you're going to sell a lot of shows like theater and stuff like that. At that point, Austin was a poor college town.
Right.
You know
It wasn't the artsy Silicon Southwest.
Yeah, now it's different. I kind of wish I was still selling tickets there now. But,
oh man, you're killing it right now.
It's tough. Yeah, man. Because before I left, Facebook had just opened their office. WeWork had just opened there. Because I got to tour those campuses. Facebook, Google, and WeWork, they had just really moved in. We were trying to get that business, but it wasn't really coming like we wanted. But I managed Houston, and Houston was a huge market for us. Like when we had Wicked, like any big show, Book of Mormon. I left right before Hamilton was going to tour because Main Event actually reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they made me an offer that was just too good to turn up. Oh, yeah. And at the time, like I'm selling Broadway shows. I'm in New York 3 to 4 times a year. I'm seeing free shows on Broadway, and this bowling alley calls me and offers me a job. Do I want to do this?
Man, yeah, dude. Talk about a paradigm shift.
The best decision I've ever made in my career. The absolute best decision. Because I'll be honest, I loved working in theater, but it's not a lot of people in theater who look like us.
Right.
I say that as a very, very light-skinned man. Still not a lot of people who look like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. And at Main Event, my GM is a Black man. Most of our staff here, our entire management team here is all minorities. We have 2 Hispanic managers, 3
love
people.
Love it. You hear that, Nick?
You know what I mean? Like it's
great job.
Yeah, and like my particular center, we probably have the most diverse staff in the company. We're also in the most diverse county in America.
Man, our area is beautiful.
County. And it actually it's rewarding in my soul that I didn't get from theater because I love selling theater. I didn't really care for musicals, but I love selling. I can sell anything, and I love selling people a good time, and that's pretty much what my career has been: selling people a good time. But this has been the most rewarding professionally and mentally for me is working here. And I can't even understate how much it means to work with people who look like me, have the same background like me, different experiences. Like the experiences I grew up with, because I grew up in Acres Homes, Texas. I grew up in Acres Homes. My dad was from a small town, Elton, Louisiana. My mom grew up in 5th Ward. Like we went through it. And so it's good to have that connection with people I work with now.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm a program manager. In December of 2020, I was listening to the Dr. Willie Jolly show. His topic was debt management, and his guest was DJ. During the interview, they talked about how DJ and his team has helped families generate wealth. I knew I wanted to know more about it, and I wanted my family members to be aware of it. I immediately set up a consultation with DJ. Since that time, the DJTMC team, has created a financial plan for me, created a policy wherein I can create wealth for my great-granddaughter, who's 7 years old now. And because I didn't have these documents in place, I'm getting assistance with my will, power of attorney, and all of the documents that you would need to ensure that your policy, that your estate will be executed as you desire it to be done. I strongly recommend the DJTMC team. I found them to be extremely courteous and helpful and knowledgeable, and I can talk to them about any of my monetary needs or concerns. Check out the DJTMC team.
So basically,
Yeah.
it's a couple of really important things you said, and I have this acronym that I created. It's called STEAM. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I added an A to STEM, which is science and technology, engineering, and math. but I created what's called STEAM, and that stands for science, technology, entrepreneurship, but most importantly, access and mentorship. So when you talked about your second most important male role model in your life after your dad, that impacts us immediately. And then to turn around and talk about, to give people perspective, if when you talked about Acres Home in Fifth Ward, what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, he grew up in the hood that you can find in just about anywhere in America.
Yeah.
And the statistics said that not him nor I should have came out to be successful like we are today. But that's just the opposite when you have leadership in your household and you have strong Black male role models to emulate, to actually give you a blueprint that all you got to do is follow. And talk to us about when you were in college, why did they not teach you about networking and mentorship, these soft skills that we undervalue, but they're overvalued in corporate America? Why don't they teach us that? And when did you come to understand that was the pathway to successful?
That is a great question, because it's weird. In college, it feels like college isn't really designed to give you the skills to survive as an adult. I don't think. I don't like, not actually, like, and even high school in some regards isn't really set up to give you the skills you need to actually survive in the real world. I think, one, it's too dependent on the actual teacher's personality. Like, I remember the first teacher who made me question, like, is this worth the money I'm paying for it? And it was a history teacher I had, and he was teaching about like American history. And he said something that was straight racist. Like, just straight racist, like the way he was teaching history. I'm like, hold up. How is he allowed to do this? Because it's kind of unpoliced. That's just how it works in college. You're always gonna be at the mercy of that teacher and how that teacher chooses to interpret things. And so you can go through college and have bad teachers the entire time. There's no way to really know. You can go through college and have great teachers the whole time who give it to you, but like give you what you need to know, the tools you need to survive. I didn't get that from college. I got that from Damon. I got that from the ministers at my church. I got that from the deacons at my church. I got that from my dad. I got that from my mom. College isn't really designed to give you that. College is more of, how can I put it? It's more of a thing, a gatekeeper than anything.
Can you say that again, brother? It's a gatekeeper. Because you keep it a buck on our show.
Okay, perfect.
Keep it a buck. Just don't say anything to get you fired, but keep it a buck.
Okay. Well, yeah, bro. The easiest way to disqualify something is to hold them to a standard that they don't have access to.
Man, he's coming with these nuggets.
That's ultimately what it is at the end of the day. And I'm fortunate that the way my career went, like, I can talk my way out of anything. Like, I have it, but I don't need it. I never need it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't. It's hard to tell people that, because I have a lot of friends. Like, I have friends who got their PhDs. I have my friends who got their masters, and that was right for them. But they're academics. They're still within that system. I think college really prepares you to teach college. I don't know if college prepares you to deal with an angry birthday party mom on a Sunday because her party host disappeared for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I got talking to people, like being in it, like doing it. And that's what I tell my staff all the time, like, do it, just do it now. And like, if you do it and you make a mistake, like I always tell them, if you make a mistake, I'm not going to be mad at you for making a mistake. I'm going to be mad at you for not trying. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I feel like college is we need to rethink why this has been the ultimate gatekeeper. I know high school dropouts who are smarter than me. I know college professors who are dumber than me. It's, you know what I mean? It's, you can't use that as the barrier to determine someone's worth. And I think it really ultimately only exists so that it's like, I have this. Now you can look at me in a different way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, so like, if, as someone who hires people, when you look at a resume, if you have that college degree required thing, that's a way to throw away resumes without knowing if that person was the right person for the job.
Mm.
And it does a disservice to, you don't get good people when you do things like that. When you make these gatekeepers, you don't know what you're missing out on. Not everybody has the same easy path. Not everybody has the same story of how they got here. There are people who had children in high school. Like, are they going to be penalized for that for the rest of their life? Like, even though like it's tough. And that's what I try to explain to my staff. Because I had a lot of them who actually try to drop out of college. I'm like, no, don't give it up unless you know you're ready to give it up. Like, keep going. Like, I tell them to go, but also try to give them the context of what they need, the tools they need to actually survive in life.
Man, that makes sense. So talk to us about, because since this is the financial expert series with DJ Money, talk about, because you are an entrepreneur, which is a person that's actually running their own business inside of a Fortune 1000 company. So how do you go about running the day in and day out business of sales? Because it's a hard job. You make it look easy, but it's a hard job. But here's the reality. Don't nothing move unless something gets sold. So talk to us, Joseph, about the professionalism of being a high performer in a highly competitive environment. Because before Main Event jumped on the scene, I never heard of them, and I went to the competition because the competition had been around for decades.
Yeah.
So that was the only model I knew.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of Main Event until they reached out to me to work here.
Right.
What I mean? And so when I came on, that's definitely a branding situation we are aware of. And so right now, as a company, we're trying to be more aggressive. But ultimately, it comes down to me because I'm Joseph Sterling. I'm the sales manager for Main Event Stafford. If you live in Sugar Land, Missouri City, Rosenberg, Stafford, you live in Fort Bend County or from here to NRG, and you don't know about Main Event, that's a failure on my part.
Right.
So it's my job to get the word out. It's my job to make us a presence you know about. So since COVID, things have been really tough for event business, but walk-in business is really good. So I'm also responsible for that piece. Maybe not as, it's not straight to my bottom line because ultimately I'm held to a sales goal, not a walk-in goal. But if I can generate business either way, that's a win because ultimately I'm trying to keep the doors open here so all of my staff can keep feeding their families.
Exactly.
Because we're one family. And so if that means I'm giving away free game cards to get people in the building, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't get a bottom line on that. But that helps the business in center. And so that's really like outreach is really what I've been focusing on right now. I've been volunteering at the food bank, getting our name out there and also trying to help the community. We've been donating to smaller charities. We do a donations program right now. So if you're a charity and you're looking to do a raffle or things like that, we give stuff for donations. Like we give things to nonprofits constantly. We do fundraisers in center. We actually did a fundraiser last week for a high school where they raised over $400 for the kids' class trip. Like we do things like that all the time. For me, it's I need to see what's coming and where we can go. So like if you're vaguely familiar with the Stafford area, if you drive around here, it's super getting developed. There's new apartment coming, there's the grid coming. So my job is to get in touch with those people as they're growing. Like there's the grid apartment complex across the street from us. I already know the person who's running that because I want everybody who's gonna move in there to know this is an opportunity, this is a place you can bring your kids, this is gonna be fun for you. Marketing mostly to walk in has been the real goal now. Now as things are starting to get back to regular business, we have a lot of school initiatives coming out. Like we have a lot of new packages. We have some drop-offs that I'm doing with my GM. It's really just outbound efforts now because once you come here, you're coming back. I already know that. Like a lot of my business,
no doubt.
Coming back. I got you once, DJ, and you kept coming
you got
back.
me for a lifetime. You know that. Regardless, if I wasn't no perks, man, when I'm treated right, and I'll put it this way, Joseph, remember that show Cheers, where everybody knows your name? Man, I always feel so great, even when you're not there. People, oh man, that's Coach DJ. Man.
Oh yeah, I'll get a text like, hey, Coach DJ's here.
They know me here, dog. So I get to, pump up my shoulders, put my chest out a little bit. And I'm telling everybody, Man, get
Yes,
on
sir.
main event, baby. Get on main event.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this. Tell us about
Yes.
what type of budgets are you responsible for? So these people can understand how
Okay.
big of a budget that you have, because your excellence is a part of the financial series. So what kind of budget do you run?
So on a normal year, we're typically responsible for $1.5 to $2 million in events. Like as a center, I don't know if I can say exactly the number, but this is a
ballpark
multi-million-dollar center independently. So each main event is its own multi-million-dollar business, and it's all run in-house. We have a GM, we have a sales manager, we have a tech manager. Those are the three who make sure the building's running well. So Matt's responsible for everybody. I'm responsible for sales and marketing, and Dave, our tech manager, he's responsible for making sure the building runs right. Because you've been inside, it's a huge building.
Oh man, it's
with a lot of moving parts. But for me, my budget really breaks down to, we do a academic calendar. So my Q2, which is going to be that October, November, December, and then my Q4, which is going to be April, May, and June. Those are my big ones. So like I would say 75%, like at least $1 million is just those 2 quarters.
Wow.
In event business. And so if you're looking at Q2, which is the holiday, like in a good December, I could do $500,000 in just December. And this is a combination of private events, holiday parties, a little bit of everything. Like I'm talking end of the school year field trips, like end of the semester field trips. Like we'll get like a private event. Like the biggest private event I've ever done here was $75,000. It was for 1,200 people. That's our max capacity. They had the building for 4 hours. They came in, it was just their building. We had a photographer. They took a lot of great pictures. We can do some really big events. Last year, we actually had a roof convention. It was the only private event I was actually able to get last holiday, but we're talking about a $30,000 event. And it was a roofing convention. It was about 200 roofers. They were at NRG. They came here. They did their private event, and it was quite nice. And so right now we would normally be gearing up for field trip season, and we're talking 700 to 800 kids a day. And we're talking probably each of those days, probably $20,000 to $30,000 in field trips each day.
Oh man, that's so. If I understand right, because I'm a salesman like yourself, most budgets and profits are tied into your compensation. Is that
yes, sir?
Yes, sir. So, give us a ballpark if you're talking to a young guy or gal who wants to go down the same pathway you are. What's a ballpark of income that they can expect to make when they get entry and then when they get to where you are?
So, excuse me. So really, I would say entry level to get into this field, you should expect to come in at about, you're going to be hourly to start. And so when I started at the Alley, when I was an assistant manager, I made $30,000 a year, and I was happy to make that $30,000. I was very, very happy. In a place like this, you'll probably get somewhere between $14 to $16 an hour. But hours are going to be super fluctuate, like it's going to fluctuate because the way this industry works, it's going to be, there's peak and there's non-peak. So we know when we're busy. We're busy in December. We're busy in the summer. When we're not as busy, less hour opportunities for you. But that's as you work up. But my company is very fortunate. Anybody who works for me, they are also compensated. So they also have a commission structure. So their salary will fluctuate based on that, based on sales. For a sales manager job, I would say if you're in this industry, any starting sales manager in the restaurant industry, you should probably realistically, if you're just starting out, think about a base of between 50 to 65. That's like a starting base. And then you can probably add on another 20 to 30,000 in commission. Now it varies place to place. And it's also going to like fluctuate year to year. Like there might be a year you get 10K. There might be a year you get 50K in commission. It's just going to vary. It was very similar in theater. Theater actually paid a lot less, even when I reached like the pinnacle of theater. Theater doesn't really pay a lot. And it's also market based. like I live in Houston, so Houston's not one of the more expensive cities.
Right.
If I'm doing this in New York, you got to skew these numbers way up. If I'm doing this in California, you got to skew them way up.
You got to go up by 25%.
Boston, these numbers will be even higher. It's all going to be based on market, but I would say 6 figures is definitely doable. It's always going to be up to you. It's always going to be up to the market. Like, because if you're a salesperson, you know what it's like. You can do everything right. You can get the money and something can still happen. You know how it is. It can still happen. And like, you think you got it, and then it's gone.
Right.
So you gotta count your blessings when you get them, and be ready to take some losses.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hello everybody, my name is Terry. I recently just linked up with DJ the Money Coach, and he's been very helpful, gave me a lot of information, told me how I could turn my personal credit into business credit, also showed me how I can pay for a personal vehicle through my business and corporation setup, and also set me up with Melvin to help me actually put together a will, a power of attorney, a Roth IRA. And I'm only 25, so I'm just looking for the future, and these guys are setting me up, building my foundation strong. And I just wanted to show my appreciation and say you guys should be next. Call DJ. He's definitely there to help.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.
Oh man, you touched on a great thing. So with that said, when you make that good income, how did you become a good steward of your own money personally? Because in the sales industry, with the fluctuation, you established a consistent, point, especially with the pandemic. How do you maintain that personal finance and stay in control of your expenses without getting out over your skis and getting out of control?
Well, it's easier now than it was early in the pandemic because there was a lot of uncertainty then. But like I learned a lot from my mom. My mom was always very good about taking care of her money. My dad, not so much. My dad never had a dollar he didn't spend. If he got it, it burned a hole in his hand. It was gone. Like it was gone immediately. But my mom was always the financially smart. I won't say financially smart, but she was always the better financially from my parents. And I learned a lot from her about being smart with my money. Like I budget myself out. So anytime I have a paycheck or anytime I get paid or anytime I have a commission, I know which pot what pot it needs to go into. I had to create my own system so I'm not struggling. I don't have a lot of debt. So when I get my check, I know what I can play with, what's going to pay this, what's going to pay this. It's easy for me. I'm a single man. Like I have a girlfriend, but I don't have a wife and I don't have any kids. So it's very easy for me. I make good money. It's very easy for me. But if I did have a family like that, then I would know what I need to put aside. So like, this is for my kids. This is for the food. This is my little bit, if I still have my little bit. I'm always looking at what I have to make sure I can cover. I stay a month ahead on every bill I have. Like if I ever need to not pay my car note, I can miss a month because I'm always a month ahead.
Wow.
Do little things like that to make sure I'm never having to struggle because I'm a professional salesperson. I hate asking people for stuff. I hate it.
Absolutely.
I absolutely hate it. You know what I mean?
I understand 100%.
If I need a favor or anything like that, I'm going to do everything in my power not to ask you for it.
Right.
I ask people for stuff all the time for work, but for me, I can't do it. I don't do it. So I like to stay on top of my money because I've been there. I've struggled. When I was 20, like I was living off of $10 a week, having to eat chicken and rice every day. I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean? And I don't have to do that again.
I feel you, Joseph. I feel you. Oh man, hey man, we really appreciate your time. So we want to in the next 5-10 minutes. We want to full circle.
Okay.
So I have another acronym that we use, and I think Nick that he epitomizes. It's him. It's humility, integrity, and real man. And you embody all of those characteristics that our young Black men need to see on this platform. And what I'm excited about is that the joy and the passion that just comes out of you, Joseph. And I think that's one of the common things that struck a chord with me that we were kin spirits on, is that we, like you said, you saw my passion, I saw your passion, and we had a common goal, which is serve our community and do it well. So your name means everything. So when I'm always speaking about you, I'm like, hey man, you guys got to meet Joseph Sterling. This guy's amazing. And again, he's a gem, and making sure that you get all the flowers while you're here. So with that said, when the pandemic hit, they closed everything down. How did you navigate through the pandemic, and how did you help your employees navigate? Because I was surprised when I came there with my mom a couple of weeks ago, how jam-packed it was, and I was happy for you. But how did you guys navigate through that process? And now, what are you excited about that we're getting through that the horizon looks even brighter?
Yeah, it's so when it first happened, so I remember the day we closed March 17th, 2020. And so it was very uncertain. So I was not furloughed. I was an essential worker, so I still worked the entire pandemic.
Wow.
I had to only go into the office once a week. So I was a once a week, I came in. So immediately I had to, my staff was furloughed. And so my staff checking in with me, making sure they're okay the whole time. Now we were only closed for about 3 months before.
Well, that's three too long.
It was a tough 3 months. So immediately I had to cancel every event I had booked for the rest of the year, like immediately.
Wow.
So a lot of the beginning, it was canceling everything. And I'll say this, I was very thankful that Main Event showed they cared about us enough that whole time. That's one thing I was very fortunate to work for this company. Main Event made it clear they cared about the people who worked for them the entire time. And Main Event, when we came back, Main Event took care of everybody when they brought everybody back. And so my staff, everybody got to come back. I had a couple of people who chose not to come back, and I completely understood why they chose not to come back, and that was good, and that worked for them. Everybody came back, and then so during the 3 months, we spread everything out. We spread all of our games apart. We blocked out lanes. We moved all the tables. We completely redid our center. So when you come in here now, you'll see games right when you walk in. I was
surprised to see that new real nice card game in the front door. I was wondering
right there. It's right there. And that's because we wanted to give 6 feet of distance between every game. And then we had sanitary stations everywhere. If you can look around, do a 360, and you don't see a bottle of hand sanitizer, that means somebody took it, because we got them everywhere around here. We have mass stations everywhere. We took the 3 months to make this as safe as possible for people to come back. And then when we were allowed to, we made it so that was the case. And people started feeling comfortable coming in, and the more people started coming in, the more we were able to bring back more and more of our staff. And right now we're at a full staff. A lot of our people are vaccinated here now. We have guests are coming in. The guests are super comfortable coming in. Like I said, we had the greatest spring break we've ever had. It's been good, and the staff feels good, and we're just trying to make sure that they're happy and appreciated. But that's really what it's been.
A thing that people don't know economically, Joseph, and you probably know this being in the industry, that in a depression and recession, people spend money on 2 things: entertainment and drinking. And so, I mean, it's just reality, because they need a pick-me-up. And the drinking, depresses the functions that they're feeling that they're down, so it mutes it a little bit. And you should do all drinking in moderation. So let me make that clear.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
These are absolutely facts, though. And so in your hospitality business, without the pandemic, when people are going through that, they want to come and get entertained. They want to live vicariously through an experience to make them feel better about living. And Main Event has been that, resort or that that island of that successful. So how do you guys compete from a competitor standpoint, and how did you guys super pass? Because now, man, I don't hear anybody talking about your competition at all. Not just in our area, but I go throughout the country, and now everybody knows Main Event like a household name, man.
Yeah.
How did y'all do that? And I know you spent a lot of time, because we would go out together and you would come to our community event for the Little League. And I'm like, man, this dude is making it, because you're putting them seeds in, which I appreciate. And then you would have staff come out putting them seeds in the ground, and they come right back where your doors in April every block, because everybody. And it was so funny. I didn't coach this season because my son got out, but I would get calls from people. Hey, coach, hey, you back in bed? We doing something with Main Event this year? I said, well, you know what? I'm doing something a little bit different, but I have to get back to you, but still go to Main Event. That's how much of a process and a reputation that you establish from just working with us. So I know it's amazing on the other end of that competition factor.
It's our leadership. Like, our CEO, Chris Morris, really wanted to reinvigorate the brand and get the name out there. Like, it's our leadership. Like, we definitely have like the strongest leadership team I've ever worked with. Like, my boss is like my old district manager, Wes Marks. He's now VP of operations. My district manager is Jimmy Barley. My regional sales manager, Elizabeth Ibarra. Like, we just have really good leaders in place nationally. And I also think what we have sticks out. We have more. Like I don't know of any concept that has everything we offer in each individual building at the price points we do. Like, if you're on a budget, you can come to Main Event for $20 and you can play almost everything in our building.
Real talk.
Like, it's just like there's not many places that can offer as much as we do, especially at that price point. Like,
not
you're not
this day and age.
Our competitors, you're not.
Man, you can't even get a pizza for $20 now.
No.
Let alone a game card, some pool, some bowling.
Yeah.
Man, dude, man, we love coming to Main Event all the time. Hey, man, with that said, what are you excited about for the remainder of 2021? And what would be 3 tips that you would give to that young Black man, Black woman that are looking to get into this industry and work their way up to the excellent, position that you are right now?
I'm excited for events to come back for us. Like, I'm excited to host some big events again. I love it. Like, I love it when it's busy here and I'm flustered and I don't know what's like, I'm kind of lost. I love it. I love it. I love the grind. So I'm excited for that to be back. I'm excited for a busy summer. I'm excited for people to be in the building. The biggest advice I would give is, 1, trust yourself. I remember working in theater, especially when I got to the highest levels at Broadway. I had imposter syndrome. I never felt like I deserved to be there. I deserved to be there. I earned my spot there, and I was good at my job. So trust yourself and know you deserve to be there. That's what I would say. Number one. Like,
oh man, I love it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would say. Number 1. Second, I would say, if you see somebody you respect in a position who looks like us, ask them for help. If they haven't offered it to you already, ask them, and they'll probably give it to you. Like, just ask. Like, don't be afraid to ask. Like I mentioned earlier, like, I'm sketchy, but like, I had Damon. Like, we all had that person there for us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's ask for help if you need it. If you need it, ask for it. And the third thing I would say is just, I don't know, I would say trust yourself again. Like it took me a long time to be as comfortable with who I am as I am now. And it's only given dividends for my career. It's only made me more successful. It's only made me a happier person. I would say just trust yourself is the biggest thing, because I think when you grow up, like we grew up, I didn't know we were poor until I knew we were poor. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It leaves some doubt, because if, like, when you don't have a lot, there's a lot you feel like you don't know about everything. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know yourself, and you need to know enough about yourself. And if you trust yourself, and if you know you're good, you're good. Like, move on, work on that, press on that, and just ask for help when you need it. And that would be my advice.
Oh man, I love it. So what we normally do when we wrap up, we usually get a summarization from Nick to give his insights of what we do. But before we do that, hey, what's the contact information that you can bestow with them so we can shine some light on Main Event in Stafford, that everybody that's in this area can see it? And what can we incentivize them with to say, hey man, I saw you on DJ's program, and I want to tell you the DJ the Money Coach said, come on in here and see Joseph.
Hey, yeah, you can
hit me up. You always ask, man. You always ask.
You can hit me up at Main Event Stafford. You can call us at 281-313-7200, or even better, you can email us. It's stfsales@mainevent.com. I'm always available. If you don't get me, you'll get one of my staff, and if I'm here, they'll put me on the phone.
We'll put that information, Nick, up on the thing there, man, because yeah, we got to make sure we show some love to everybody.
Appreciate it.
This awesome interview. So Nick, man, what did you get from this, brother? This is, man, and you can see, man, I told you this guy was par excellence.
Yes, you did. And actually, you spread the gospel to me about Main Event as well. You asked me if there was one close by to me, and I said no. So while you guys were talking, I actually looked it up, and the closest one to me, I'm in New Jersey. The closest one to me is in Delaware. It looks like, which is about 2 hours away. So I might just have to.
It's worth it.
Exactly.
Make a special weekend trip, to Delaware, and check out Main Event.
Make sure you tell them that Joseph from Stafford sent you by way of DJ the Money Coach.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that for sure. But I mean, just starting from those great points that you made at the very end, Joseph. Those 3 tips of advice, trusting yourself and asking for help from those who you respect. I thought that was, those were 2 very important points. And then, just going back through your backstory, you're a true leader, and we can see that in the conversation. We can see that from your interactions with DJ when you all first met. And, just by the way, you all treat your guests, and you call them guests and not customers. And you treat your team members as family members, and not just employees. That was another thing that I noticed when you mentioned that, you all take your team members out, outside of work. That really shows that, you have that family-like bond there. And I believe all of those factors make it really pleasurable to work at Main Event. So kudos to you for being a true leader, truly exemplifying the HIM acronym that DJ coined. And then, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Man, this is awesome. So again, Joseph, if you can give us your contact information again, we're going to put it up on the screen as well. Nice and slow, and repeat it twice, my friend. I don't have to tell a salesman how to do it.
I know. Oh yeah, it's so you can call us at 281-313-7200. Again, that is 281-313-7200. You can email us anytime at stfsales@mainevent.com. That is stfsales@mainevent.com. Had to use my phone voice there.
Man, I love it, man. And another thing too, Nick, since they were my sponsors in baseball, we're gonna get them to come over here and sponsor one of our channels. We got a kids channel and a family channel that we're gonna be kicking off here in the next couple of weeks. So we're gonna look for Main Event to continue that sponsorship with us in that regard.
All right.
Spread the wealth that way. So on behalf of my moderator, Nick Westbrooks, and on behalf of our amazing guest, who is the first and the best person to talk about entertainment at the highest level and doing it right with integrity. And I put the emphasis on the integrity, and I really want to emphasize the reality of the humility and the integrity and being a real man. That's so important, because I've come in contact with a lot of people in the entertainment business, and they can't even hold a candle to you because of your integrity And there's one word that reminds me of you, Joseph. It's enthusiasm. And what people don't realize what enthusiasm means is God within. And that's what I think everybody that's watching this show today will get immediately, is that your enthusiasm can't even be bridled. It's so great, man. So I really appreciate that in you. So I want to thank you for coming on our show. This has been the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach. And like always, we want you to come join us. I mean, got it wrong. I'm so excited about how Joseph leads us. We want you to have a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And go to Main Event, because that plenty of money and that peace of mind, man, if you don't think you'd be a great guest in their house, you are fooling yourself. And last but not least, you come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And you know what? My beach has been many times in Main Event with Joseph Sterling leading the way just as recently as 2 weeks ago, and being so hospitable to me and my mom and my children that, man, y'all got to go visit my brother, because this is where you knock down that stress. You have a great time and you feel amazing when you leave out, because the hospitality is above and better than any experience I had in the entertainment world. So I thank you, Joseph, for being with us. And again, guys, this has been DJ the Money Coach on the Financial Expert Series. We'll see you next time.
This is DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for celebrating our 1-year anniversary with us. Thank you for the emails, the videos, and the phone calls. Most importantly, congratulations for the hundreds of people who actually acquired the course. Now it's time to take it to the next level. That's right. Millionaire Money Made. I'm actually going to teach you live how to earn that 800 credit score through the Family Finance 101 course. I'm going to teach the live 3-hour course to you. That's right. After I do that, we're actually going to bring you 3 steps to success: business, real estate, and leverage the tax laws. And once we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a little bit of investment in the market up to an 80% return, cash on cash return on your money. After we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a minimum investment of $7,500, how to get you to $850 a month in passive income. On top of that, we're going to give you 2 live Zoom trainings with Leonard Ray, 7-figure Forex trainer since 2007, Clarence and Tanya, 7-figure income earners through real estate, over 200 properties they own, and retired at the young age of 40 and 42. All you have to do is register now. Hit that link below and you'll become part of the Millionaire Money Making May, exclusively with Erica Williams and the Classy Climb, brought to you by DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money team. So don't you deserve to be a millionaire next door, consumer debt free, cash and credit? Absolutely. Hit the link. I'll see you live on May 19th.